Hey everybody. In a previous video, I showed you how to create journal entries. And then in a separate video, I showed you how to post those journal entries to a ledger. Just as a reminder, journal entries is where we record our transactions as they occur throughout the accounting period. And then our ledger is where we can post those journal entries so that we can get balances on each of the accounts. So now I just want to show you how to take these account balances from your ledger and create a trial balance. Again, in modern accounting, we have computers that do almost all this for us. But it's important as you're learning about accounting that you kind of learn the process that's going on here from transaction to journal entry, from journal entry to ledger, where we now get balances, and then from the ledger to the trial balance. So you'll see at the bottom of each of the accounts in our ledger, we have a balance. And all we're going to do to create a trial balance is transfer those over. So my cash account has a debit balance of 13,700. So I'm just going to enter that in the trial balance. Accounts receivable has a credit balance of 200. I think I mentioned this in the previous videos. It would be weird. Typically, we would expect to see accounts receivable with a debit balance, but in this case, we have a credit balance. And so that's what we're going to record here. In real life, if I ended up with a credit balance in my accounts receivable, I'd be going back to check the transactions and make sure I didn't have an error. Normally, we would expect all of our asset accounts to have debit balances, all of our liability accounts and equity accounts to have credit balances, and then our dividends and our expense accounts to have debit balances, and our revenue accounts to have credit balances. But that's what we have. We've checked and it's right. So we're going to go ahead and make the entry for now. Office supplies have a debit balance of 500. Office equipment has a debit balance of 3,000. Loan receivable has a credit balance of 2,000. Again, a little weird. We have an asset with a credit balance. Accounts payable has a credit balance of 500. Notes payable has a credit balance of 5,000. Common stock has a debit balance. Oh, no, sorry, a credit balance of 10,000. Retained earnings has a debit balance of 500. A little weird again to have an equity account with a debit balance, but it can happen. Our service revenue account has a credit balance of 1,500. And our rent expense has a debit balance of 1,200. And our utilities expense has a debit balance of 300. Once we've transferred all of those balances over from our ledger, now we're just going to total them up. With Excel, it's nice because we can just use the sum button, right? The auto sum here. And then we'll do the same in our credit column. If we've done it right, our totals, our debit and credit totals will be the same. And there we have a completed trial balance. So again, I hope that was useful and not too hard. And if you have questions, don't be afraid to put them in the comments. And also, if you'll like or share or even follow me, that will help more people to get to see these helps. So if you found it helpful, please like it so other people can find it too.